see what happens.
I saw that there's a... Oh, okay, OBS is taking a moment. Alright, looks like it's...
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, looks like it's going. I'm gonna open up my window now. Alright, and let's open up
It
the
says you're
game.
live, so let me see if I can pop it in. I just need to make sure I mute this. There we go. Yeah, I can see myself on here on your screen.
Yes, lovely.
So looks like you got it.
Let me actually just go, maybe... Oh, I think I might have to change the view to this one where you aren't available anymore. Hang on one second, I think I have to add you back in. Oh, hang on, I can just copy you.
I'm still here. I think I'm here. Yeah.
Okay,
You just
hang
have to
on.
move the boxes and minimize, and that's the problem is getting everything to fit on a screen.
There we go, there we go. Put on the window, there's the game. And I have to arrange our faces so we're not blocking everything up. Okay, actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna make us little square blocks today. Check it out, you and me fitting into the square blocks next to each other. Kinda cute. Alright, have a look, see if that works. I'm just gonna change this. Seeds from R5. Watch party. Man, this has taken forever. Thanks for helping me set this up for the first time.
Yeah, no problem. Like I
Once
said,
again.
that's always the hard part. Like I did when I first started, I was like, how do you put everything everywhere? You know, like moving stuff
Yeah.
around and
Okay, I think this is probably fine. The title is kind of messed, but whatever. Oh, otherwise I can do like this. Just like really long across the top.
yes, I think you. I had problems with that too, and I don't even still think I have it right. I'm still messing around on my end with putting stuff
Alright,
long.
that's not perfect, but that's the thing. Oh, hang on, but you're kind of too small here. Let's make you a bit bigger. Alright, okay. I'm calling it a success. What does it look like?
Yeah, looks pretty good.
Yeah? Alright. We've
Quick
missed like the
happen,
first
very
how many
quick.
moves of the game though.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. There we go. That looks a lot better.
does it look good? Okay, okay,
Much more
okay.
quick. Yeah, it looks a lot less congested down there.
Perfect. Okay, and then of course, none of this would be complete without actually having some kind of link to share to someone. So give me one second while I figure out where that is at this point in the day. Oh my goodness. I currently am live. Get the shareable link. Alright.
Now the trick will be, because I can't do that, you need someone else who's actually listening to the live feed to make sure you have like no echoes and all that kind of stuff. And I can't do that because if I put it up,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
will
yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
miss it.
I appreciate some feedback since it's the
Yeah, see if someone
fifth.
can jump on it, the feed real quick and say, just let us know if you can hear us both, echoes, all that kind of stuff.
Okay, okay. I did send it. Um, of course, it takes a second to realize if there's anyone here, so it's kind of hard to tell. Let me just see.
Yeah.
So you
Well,
can
like
obviously
once
see
you
the
have
board yourself, right? So you don't have to look at the stream to see it.
exactly. Oh, the
Okay.
board and stuff. Yeah. Well, what I would do is probably just do what I'm doing now, where I mute your channel and I'm just watching your channel while we talk,
Oh,
because then I
okay.
can see when you do arrows and stuff.
Oh,
And
very
that's what I
nice.
did with a friend who, when he did his stream, that's what I did. We've gotten a Zoom call, and I just watched his stream on mute. So as he was doing stuff, I would just talk about. I
Very
haven't
good.
found a good way. What I would really love to do, and I haven't found a good way to do it, is where both players can interact on the board at the same time, but I don't know a good way of doing that.
Me neither. I actually don't know. You have to go into a study for that, though. I don't think you can actually do that with a live game that you're watching, can you?
Right.
Yeah, I don't think we have the actual setup for that right now. Ah, where's Tranzo? We need it. Flippy is much louder than JG. Okay, okay, okay. I know where that's coming from. So one second. The reason is because I'm putting your audio through my computer, but it is slightly muted. Okay, keep on talking.
Oh, is
Tell me
that
how your
right?
days. Tell me how your day was. Are you doing good?
Yeah, my day so far has been okay. We're just testing this out, but
All right, okay. And
let me know. I'm
Zubin, how's
also
it
on my
going?
default. Yeah, I'm also on my default audio. I don't have my third-party webcam audio thing on, so that could also be playing into the audio. So if you still have me lower, it might be because of that, because we had that same issue
No,
with
no, no.
Funny
It
Animated.
Almost certainly it's because I am putting in both audio feeds from my computer and from my voice. But normally computer is only game and Spotify, so I've made it softer, but now I've made it slightly louder, so I think it should be okay. And I've got a little bit of music in the background, I hope.
Yeah, so we'll see.
Yep, much better. Okay, great, Zubin, thank you. Alright. I can't keep looking back at Leech's chat though, so I think if anyone has any further comments, I hope that they'll say it in the YouTube chat. But anyway, let's have a bit of the game. Do you actually have a bit of time to look at the game as well?
Yeah, I have a few minutes. I could probably do a little
Sweet.
bit on the game.
Alright, cool. Let's just run through it quick. So, I don't actually know either of these players, by the way. I don't know if... Do you know VanRoy or SnowDeath?
No, I've seen VanRoy. I think maybe I know I've seen SnowDeath in the Slack, but I haven't actually watched them play, or
Okay.
I'm not even sure what team they play.
Blunder Buddies versus Silent Knights, Holy Knights. Okay, and this is a board 2 game. Wow. Alright, so just going through D4. This looks like a London. Straight C5. This is a London with the early... Oh, I like this. Early Queen B6. I play that as well. Oh, the one where they sack the pawn. Okay. That's dangerous. That's very dangerous. Isn't this just a draw? I think this is a forced draw, actually. Black has
Are they playing a forced draw?
Black has to give up their queen, or because already you can see Black's on the existing move, like Black's queen is kind of stuck, right? It can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
So now all that White does is they shuffle their rook back and forth between the two files, and Black's queen is stuck. They have to give it up for the rook, or they have to just accept the draw.
Okay. Yeah. That's right. Because if C7 is weak, so anytime the queen goes back on the light squares, you have C7, knight C7 forking. Yep.
Yeah, I mean if
That could be a short game.
this is so currently, right? This is Black's move, but this is covered. This is covered. This is covered. This is the only square that's... Oh no, this is also covered. Here, Black's got 0 moves with their queen. Everything's covered. Everything's protected. And they've also got this. So even if they play something like this, White just moves their rook back and forth and draw agreed.
Okay, yeah. So this is a theory line, is what you're saying?
Yeah. Actually, I'll quickly open up the Explorer here. Let's have a look if there's a name to this. All right.
I would like to know how many Londons there are in this season. I see so many Londons. I would not surprise me if it's a very high percentage of.
Yeah, man, people love the London.
Of the season.
For sure. I mean, it's
because I think
such an easy
when
thing.
we were doing it, I think when we were doing some commentary on the weekend, there was like, I would want to say maybe close to a third of the games were showing up as Londons or some sort of mix. Oh yeah, so that's okay. Yeah, super high draw.
Yeah, here's
so basically the only time one side wins is when the other side screws that up, you know,
and
then they
up.
let the queen out or.
This is the move I told about, but okay, you can also just like drop the knight there to protect either knight jump basically just to protect that square. Okay. That was not the... Okay, so here already we've gone off script. Let's just see if someone else been playing this, because this seems very interesting. Okay, so they obviously had the fork already, but they're just going for the... Okay, we've inserted a move extra. Normally you don't take, and then here you just play this directly. But now White can just do this. There's nothing to it.
Yeah.
I'm surprised though. VanRoy with what's it, 40? I guess 40 points isn't that much. But being the slightly higher rated, not looking like they really care to play a game. Maybe it's Christmas Eve, they just want to relax quickly.
Right. Maybe they forgot it was Christmas Eve and they're like, oh crap, let's try to get this draw real quick here.
Yeah, let's just get this sorted out real quick.
Plays into it and just like, okay, this is a draw, but White's like, well, I don't care if I draw a higher rated player, and he's like, well, I kind of want in that game. You know, like.
For sure. Actually,
it is interesting to get this game.
I think I actually know this line because I saw Hikaru explaining it somewhere on a stream once, and this has got to be a long time ago. I haven't watched his stream in years, but I remember him like kind of playing into something like this. Ah, here we go. And then he was just so disgusted. He was like, oh, it's a draw.
Oh. Yeah. It was like, it's just not gonna. Yeah. Well, so White's thinking here is White
That's not right.
worried that.
Okay, yeah, the White's trying to trap the queen, but that's not correct. Something's wrong. What's
Queen
wrong?
C1 isn't right. You just shuffle the rook.
Yeah,
The
you have
pawn's
to
already
shuffle the
defended.
rook. If you give black a tempo, I guess this is what they get. And then the queen can run away. I wonder. Or is it that... Well, so, this isn't right, but I'm not sure what exactly is wrong, because I haven't seen these positions before. I don't think...
Well, maybe not, because Knight C3 doesn't work for Black because he still can't go on the light squares. The rook just goes to A1.
Yeah.
So if Black plays Knight C3, you just play Rook A1. Black doesn't have time to get the queen out.
No. You can just run. You can just give up and run away, right? We're not there. Oh no. Oh, you get forked everywhere. So I thought you
Exactly.
like,
So there's
yeah.
no.
Oh,
So I
maybe
think
it isn't at
Black's
all.
actually in trouble. So Black might actually have his queen stuck now.
Maybe. Well, I don't know. Does this move make any difference though? I don't think it does. So
No, because the knight's always going to C7 forking. So all the light squares are covered for the queen. There's no light square available to the queen without getting forked or something. I think Black made an error. Black should not have played knight. Was it knight D5? I think knight D5 is what's wrong,
both of these
and
move
now he's
were
actually going to get the queen trapped.
this
Because I
this
think
was
in
not
that
the
position,
yeah, taking the pawn was what was not kind of in the book. But I don't see how that makes a difference. Or is it just the tempo that you give white maybe?
exactly. I'm thinking the knight D5 is wrong. He needed to play something like A6 or knight A6 or something where C7 is not available or something like that. Because that doesn't work. I think he actually is going to get his queen trapped now. I don't see a way for the queen to get out for Black. Once Rook A1 comes, there's no squares for the white queen. And even if you play knight C3, it doesn't matter because the rook's attacking the queen. The queen has nowhere to go.
Yeah. Wow, this does not seem to be the line that I expected. If we
Yeah,
take and then you go, then
I
I
think Black fell
take.
for a trick. He played maybe too fast or something. He fell for a trick here, and now I think he's losing his queen for a rook.
Yeah, I'm
Once
trying to
Rook A1
see.
happens.
Yeah, like black can take and the tempi, and then he can like take to check the king, but it doesn't help. This can't check the king. The queen can't get to the king. Oh
Oh,
my
you know what? I
goodness.
wonder if he can get a rook and bishop. If Black plays knight takes F4 here, then when Rook A1 happens, he can take the rook, and then he can move his knight back to E6, defending against a fork on C7.
I see what you mean. So take here, take, and then back somewhere. One of these squares to defend.
But it's still, I mean, still obviously good for White. It's just maybe playable a little bit for Black. Like it's not immediately over. It's still not great.
I am flabbergasted. I was convinced this must be a drawing line. At least the basics of it, but something's gone so wrong for black, hasn't it?
Oh, you're right. I wonder if if Knight takes F4, if White can just play Knight C7 check right away, and then Rook A1.
Then everything's hanging everywhere on the board.
I
Take,
guess it doesn't
take,
matter. Yeah.
take. I guess I like that in the sense that so for instance, if you take and you check and the king comes over, then white goes here, you take, oops, sorry, and then black can either save their knight or take the knight over here. So maybe they, sack it for a pawn or something. But then the king's all the
Yeah.
way
Either way,
over
so
on
White's going to
c7.
be up material, I think. I just don't know how much really to pay. I mean, he's losing his queen at least. So queen for a rook is a minimum. Whether he can get another piece on top of that, maybe. But after knight c7 check, I don't know if you do because the rook's being attacked on a8. So you have to take the knight, but then they're going to take your knight on f4, and then all you are is up a rook. Or all you are is a rook for queen, rather.
Yeah.
So that's the problem I have for that. I think black just made a mistake. But I would like to know if I think knight to d5 was the mistake. I think you're right that knight a5 needed to be played covering the c7, and then he's okay.
Oh, yeah,
But
I don't know. Like this, the the book showed these two moves in this position. I'm actually gonna go back and
although
check.
maybe it doesn't, because knight d5 kind of does this. I don't know.
I don't want the
I don't know.
evaluation. I just want to
Maybe it
see.
was the pawn that was the losing tempo. You
Yeah, see,
needed
this
some.
is
I don't know.
knight b5, and then you've got d5 and a. So both of these moves are in there, and d5 is the main move. Knight a6 is apparently no good. But I can't
Okay.
figure out. I mean, I get the idea of moving another knight out instead of moving the same one twice, but okay. So what's black saying now? I'm gonna take a rook and this knight instead of the bishop. So you attack me, I take, you take, and I take your knight.
Okay.
And we can trade these to pawns depending on what takes what. Oh
So
man.
he's doing rook e1. Okay, but rookie. Oh, I see. So he's going to get the knight in the rook for it because rook e1, and then he's saying queen takes, then I take your knight. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so he
But then
takes.
the queen's going to take on d4. It's still really good for white. I mean,
Yeah, there we go. Take, take, take. Okay.
but it's something. It's a play like black can play on. He's just not outright like. I think if you lose the queen to the rook, it's almost resignable. But if you get a minor piece on top of it, okay, maybe you could play on and you're down. But
Yeah, I guess
oh, interesting.
so.
He wants to take on d2. Why does he want it? Why does he want the queen on d2? I guess it doesn't matter. You can still take on d4. Although maybe now you have the option of
Maybe if your queen's
taking on
here,
b5. I don't
black
know if
can
you want to take
push.
on b5. Unless you're taking for the bishop. Maybe he's holding on to a3. Excuse me. He's holding on to a3.
Yeah, if you pushed here and the queen's on a1, right? Then black has b4,
But that's
and this pawn is under attack, so you have to
that's
move
a
it.
development there for a 2100 rated player and a 2058 and 2102. So higher rated players, and we get this kind of wild London thing.
I'm very surprised.
Yeah, that's a surprising,
Turn of
not how
events.
I would expect the game,
Yeah.
to go here. But now black, I think, is though as white has to be careful of is not to get complacent. Like, okay, you want a queen for a rook and a knight or whatever, but you got to be active. Like, get your kingside pieces out. It's still a game. You can't just go, okay, I got to have this in the bag type thing. He's got to play active and not let black get his pieces developed and try to use something.
Yeah. Open
Because he
file
does have a weak
activity.
queen side. So,
Yeah.
in some fashion, if you see rooks or whatever on the queen side somehow, and that extra minor, he might be able to try to do. I think that's why white's holding on to that a pawn though, because if you lose the a pawn, his queen side becomes a little flimsy.
Yeah, the access down the file could be quite dangerous. I'm also just counting up here. So black's lost a pawn along with only one pawn, right? So clearly white should be better here, but I guess black has reason to
Maybe
still
now
play
black
on.
needs to trade off that bishop on f4 just to make sure he doesn't have the bishop pair, right? Get another little plus. If black has the bishop pair, that's another slight plus, maybe. It's like knight takes f4. I don't have to worry about defending that knight against the queen scenarios type thing. And then
Yes, so
I don't know what you play after that though. Knight c6. I don't know.
I just don't like trading off my only active piece, right? So black's got nothing developed. They've got, well, this rook is technically active, but if you trade here, then only white's kind of
Or do you
out.
just say pawn takes e4? Maybe because you're going to lose the d pawn, right? So maybe just pawn takes e3
Yeah,
with
yeah.
black and then something. Try to hold on to a little bit of material, but then the queen's on that diagonal and makes
This
it
is
harder to develop the.
uncomfortable. Yeah. I am. It's unfortunate you can get down here, but that doesn't really help you as much because you can't do anything with it. You really need to get some development going. You can't play here. You probably have to play, so you can't fianchetto, right? Because the queen's on the diagonal. So you're probably going to
Right.
have to get your bishops out in the middle. This apparently pinned, so kind of by process of elimination, this is one of your pawn moves. A knight move might be good because then actually you can put it 2, although you're not going to keep this pawn. So you, oh, okay, there we go with the knight after all. Yeah, I guess
Yeah,
black just has to
it's
work on some kind of activity now. Hey? Yo.
yeah, and see that's what I think is the problem here is that I don't see a good way for black kind of get his other pieces developed here because if you can't if you can't feed and shadow the dark squared bishop, it's also going to be hard to castle as long as that queen's on that diagonal. So it's
Yeah.
not even hard.
Well,
You know, and then if you can't castle, you're
yeah.
in problems.
So black can't take this pawn with their queen though, right? White can't take the pawn with the queen, which means probably if this opens up, you will just be able to castle. Like you'll move your bishop, it opens and you castle, but then your king might be a little bit scared in the corner there. Not covered so much. I don't know. I like what black's doing, but yo, do you think you could win this?
Could I win this as black?
For either side.
Like
I mean, it feels
for
like white
either
should be
side?
winning, but
I think White just needs to get developed and he should be okay. If he gets his like knight f3, for example, e5 isn't playable. I'm going to be taking on d4 next move possibly. If you trade on e3, that's fine too. And then White's going to castle, and I just think Black's going to struggle getting the rest of his pieces out in the game. If you make a couple exchanges with these knights, I don't think it's going to be a problem. Like, then those are the only active pieces, and the bishops and the rooks are going to, at least the king side rook for me, for black. I don't know how you're going to get it into the game because I don't know how quickly you can castle at this point. Maybe e6 is a good move for black here because it adds a defender on the knight, but it also is targeting the a3 pawn. So it might give white something to have
like
to
this?
deal with.
Yeah. I like that.
While
So
the
I
pawn's
liked
still
it
in,
because that's the only developing square I could find, but that kind of double purpose is real nice.
yeah, and then as long as the d pawn's still there, the queen can't take on g7. So maybe if I have one more move and get my king castle, then at least solve that problem.
Yo. I guess. Oh, thank you, Golden, by the way, for letting us know the quality is fine for a chess stream. I guess that's an okay level then.
Yeah, it's an okay level. We're meeting
Yeah.
the minimum bar.
All right.
But it's interesting. So it's good that you got this thing set up. So this is working. Doesn't seem like there's any technical issues. That's terrible.
Yeah, man, this
But
is
yeah,
actually great. It's funny that YouTube Live doesn't have an obvious invite feature. That's very strange.
that's what's crazy to me. Right? I'm like, what they have? I mean, you think they would put that in there? That seems like something a must request that
For
somebody's
sure,
going
right?
to say, hey, this shouldn't be too difficult, and it's obviously a lot easier for people like ease. It's like when you're having to do weird stuff, that's what puts people off. Even if it's possible, it's like just they want the easy button. Give them an easy button. It should. All right, knight f3. That's kind of what I expected from white. So for black, it'd be e6 is what I'm looking at. E6 is what I think black should play here now.
Yeah.
Don't even worry about
yeah.
the worry about the
I mean,
development, right?
Yeah, you could try and get the other, but I don't know. You're kind of hoping white takes here, right? So you can connect your pawns. That would be amazing. So this isn't really a threat. This is actually kind of a like black would just take it, please. Fantastic, thank you. I don't like. I see here after the e6, right? So if this pawn falls, if you take it with the rook and you do all the trades on e3, there we go. Then actually the rook can take a second pawn on the e file as well potentially. Just picking up all the loose pieces as you go along.
Yeah, and see, I think I think black's biggest concern is development right now.
Yeah.
If he can get his pieces active and developed, he might have a chance. But the longer it goes, that those queens, especially the queen, there's a lot of targets they can hit, and if you don't have your pieces developed to meet it, you're going to get big problems real quick. But white has a problem too, because if black is able to coordinate, that queen side could be a problem for him, because black does have a b pawn, right? So hey, if we get rid of the a pawn, yep, he plays e6, so a pawn is being attacked. Where is a pawn going? A4, I guess.
Yo.
Like, I think you almost have to play.
Yeah.
You might even have to play a4, but maybe white wants to sacrifice it and just castle now and say, well, whatever.
I quite like. Well, yeah. I think casting is gonna have to be the move. Although what you could do is you could push it, but then you're giving up this square here, and things might get a bit dangerous. But I quite like if white ends up taking here and they get this with their queen. They can push this pawn to start like this, lodging the knight over here, take back if they have to. But yo, actually, I'm surprised. Black's activity down the A file, gives me pause. There's a little bit of a concern there about what might happen if you don't protect that A3 pawn. Things might go south
Exactly.
real
So if
quick.
you and I wonder if you play A4, maybe
Hmm.
Black could even just play Knight C3 and really
Straight
go
in here,
after it.
and also hitting your. Well, yeah, I don't. I mean, if we trade down, right? So if we just trade some pieces, a queen and a rook versus two rooks and a bishop.
Yeah.
The only way black wins this is if they can keep the board kind of controlled. If they can keep it from opening up too much, right?
Yeah, he's going to have to get that light squared bishop in, and I have no idea how Black's going to get the light squared bishop on it at the moment. I don't,
Oh yeah, yeah,
but he's
yeah.
going to have to figure that part out. But castling for the king, I think for Black is probably a bigger concern. He needs to get the dark squared bishop out quick, castle before that queen is attacking G7 and causing more problems on trying to get his pieces castled. And
I mean,
so
yeah.
he's
Either
got a
of
lot
these
of things
pawns
to think
could move,
about.
yeah? If you moved here, you could even try and get out to oppose directly. Because again, if they take, this pawn will be defended by your knight. And if you can connect these pawns in either direction, that's got to be better for you.
Yeah.
I don't know, yeah, like, it's not pretty, but I feel like you could move one of these. Although, yeah. This is an amazing position. I was sure we were going to draw just like 5 moves ago.
Yeah, and it's like, nope, game on. They're playing on, and
Not even
it looks
close.
like something playable at the moment for Black, right? It's very uncomfortable, but it's like not like dead loss. Like if he lost his queen to his rook, it's almost like, okay, this is over. But having that extra minor piece, hey, you have some play to, if you can get some stuff coordinated and get some pieces out, you might be able to hold on and make this a game. I'm gonna have to jump off though because I gotta get in with family and stuff. But
Yeah,
this is
yeah,
great
yeah.
that you got it going on. We need to coordinate some time for maybe the weekend or something like that. Would be fun. Now that we got this stream up and running, it's we kind of got the technical stuff out of the way for it.
Yeah, we
So
need to
that's
get the
awesome.
first time
And
done every time, right? Now we can figure it out easy
yeah,
next time. Yeah, cool, man.
exactly.
Thanks for
First
helping
time.
to test it.
Hey, you're welcome. We'll be in touch here. Okay.
Yeah,
Have
for
fun with the
sure.
stream here. This is looking like a good game for you to commentate on, though. I
I
like
was
it.
surprised the
Better
quality
than a
that
five
come
move
out of this
draw.
potential draw.
Yeah, better than
Hundreds,
a 5 move
hundreds.
draw. All right. See you
Absolutely.
later then.
Cool, man, safe. Enjoy Christmas Eve. I'm supposed to probably take your face off of here just for safety. Alright, I think I'm gonna go for a little while longer, guys. This game does seem pretty interesting. If there's anyone else who is loitering around on Slack or from someone else who wants to give it a try, it turns out to be really easy actually. I'm just gonna send you a link, you're gonna join there and then just pop your face into the stream. So now that we've figured it out, it's super easy, just let me know. And in the meantime, I'm actually just gonna go back once and just have a look at how we got here, because in this opening here, taking the B2 pawn, I am sure leads to a forced draw where you just shuffle your rook back and forth. However, in some way now, we've got into a situation where white actually won the queen for 2 minors. For a rook and a knight. Amazing. I didn't expect this at all. Alright. Up. Yeah, we called all of this. By process of elimination, e6 the far the best move to try and develop. Black wants to get activity very quickly, therefore the king side, obviously getting the bishop out, being able to castle is good. Hitting this a3 pawn twice also gives white some pause about what to do. I was thinking earlier just about just trade off, just trade, and you can take over here. I mean, you take another pawn off the board. Obviously, if black also trades, if we trade everything, for instance, we just trade here, we trade here, we trade here. Even if we trade here, if we get down to this situation, white's obviously doing great. One rook pair before that, I'm wondering if it's so great for white or not. It really depends on how much the board opens up, I think, but we'll have to see. We will have to see what happens. Oh, now I'm so lonely. I really enjoyed having Jordan on here to test. We've been doing quite a lot of the league streaming recently, and there seems to be a lot of interest. It turns out that we actually had some old YouTube League channel as well, so maybe in the future we'll be able to get that up and running again as well. But in the meantime, we're just trying to, I don't know, just try a lot of stuff, to be honest. We're just trying so many things. We're trying Twitch, we're trying YouTube, we're trying live streaming, we're trying recordings, game reviews, giving everything a go. I've heard talk about just putting up some tactics as well. A lot of interesting ideas. A lot of interesting ideas that we can think about. Oh, come on, SnowDeath, give us a move. We were discussing earlier maybe about a4. It doesn't feel like the right move, but if you want to protect the pawn, obviously it might be. There isn't really any other way. You can't stop either of these pieces from attacking it, right? And you can't fend the pawn in any other way. So your options are a little bit limited. I can tell you what I think is wrong. I don't think a4 is the move. I don't think forcing the trades is the move. Winning that pawn is not the way you win this game. White wins via activity of the queen in the late game, which means they have to survive the mid game. Alright. Wife's decided it's time to have a little noodle, so we're just setting that up. Sorry if you can hear it in the background. It is delicious though. And she shouldn't make it too oily, yeah? Don't make it too oily. Be careful. Okay, yeah, just don't watch for your stomach. Alright. Actually, I don't know, can you give me the wrapping when you're done? I don't know if anyone else knows this brand overseas. Alright, yeah, so white does what I think is probably the best move. Getting the king safe, getting their only rook out into the game. Definitely, I think, the place to go. Defending the a pawn doesn't feel that important. Getting that d pawn, again, not the most important. So for anyone who isn't aware, I live in Japan. And now I just have to double check quickly. This is what my wife decided she wants to eat tonight. That whole character just means spicy, basically. So she decided it's a good idea to eat some oily spicy noodles now late evening. This is not recommended for a daily allowance though, guys. You shouldn't be eating this stuff all the time. Although the broth is very tasty, it's not healthy to eat all of it, so... Okay, just make the whole thing and share with me then. I'll eat some of it as well. Okay. Perfect. Back to the game then. Yeah, so absolutely... Okay, SnowDeath actually just kind of did a mic drop. They castled and then they went offline. So, alright, great. Please come back before your time's run out, SnowDeath. I also don't want to sit here waiting for your game to end. I want you to play the game. So I don't think anyone else wants to watch the clock drop when they're not around. Going around to black side of the board again. I wonder, do any of you do this, by the way? Like, do you flip the board when you're watching? Because I normally flip either to my teammate or to whichever side is playing the opening that I play. So if this game was running and I was just watching by myself, I would have flipped to black because I play against the London, but I don't play it myself. But anyway, as for black, an interesting problem that they have is that they can't actually take this a3 pawn. I don't know if any of you have noticed this halfway through, but if they do, so for instance you take like this, then the queen just sidesteps, maybe over here just to be safe so you can't get her with a knight jump, and it pins your bishop to the rook. You can't win it immediately, but you're kind of stuck, so maybe that gives white a chance to slow down your development, because these two pieces will be stuck. That rook needs to be moving somewhere into safety, so probably you'd have to move it up to here or here. So you'd lose a move. Take, I protect, you castle. Maybe white decides it's worth winning the pawn, but actually maybe it's not. Honestly, I think even maybe winning the pawn this way might be better, because you can connect your isolated c pawn to something. And then white still can't develop their light square bishop. So they maybe, I don't know, they either take two moves to protect the rook by getting the light squared bishop off the back rank, or they just put the rook on one of these squares that's being protected. Also because on those squares, when the bishop drops back, it can defend the rook while it's attacking the queen, which will be over here. I wonder if that would make black kind of hesitate about taking this. Unsure, unsure. Figure out. Okay. Quick domestic situation. 1 second. We've got. There we go. Alright. Very, very good. By the way, I just want to say for all of you watching the stream today, why are you doing that? Isn't it Christmas Eve? Shouldn't be chilling with your family. Unfortunately, here in Japan, Christmas isn't the biggest thing. It's actually more like a dating couples kind of activity day. So there's not too much um, of the family kind of Christmas. Although we have that for New Year's, which is quite nice. We do a lot more effort for New Year's when there's a little more like a formal holiday and some tradition surrounding it. But yeah, Christmas is a bit more of a go on your own, go solo situation. Alright, I was testing the stream in the living room, that's why this is happening. That background noise will be the kettle boiling, part of the whole instant ramen situation that's going on. Alright, black finally gave us a move, and SnowDeath is back, which is good news. So black took with the rook. So obviously that avoids any of the funny pins. I did say earlier, if black now ends up trading everything on e3, obviously the rook could also swing across and take that pawn. But I would be... Well, actually, truthfully looking at it, it's not that easy for white to avoid that. They'd have to just move their dark square bishop somewhere, dropping it back maybe, or even here. Because if they take, the bishop hangs, obviously. They can't, well, they can do this, I guess. So maybe, I don't think white is going to do this, but let's just say, for instance, they go rook e1, then take, take, take. Then they get another isolated pawn protected by their rook, or if I was them, I would trade off this active rook for sure. So there, I feel more and more like this might be the time where white takes this c knight, because it opens up a square here as well. So take, take, and then you put your bishop on e5. You're hitting the pawn. If the pawn takes, you're also battering up against the g7 pawn. So this kind of attack, if you have these pieces lined up, I think would be really good for white. Obviously, you know, black can still kind of break it up and so on, but I think that kind of activity would be very good. I mean, depending on how they break it. If you took here, oh no, then this light square bishop would still be protecting it. So I was thinking, let's say that happens. So take, take, I move up here. I'm not sure what, maybe black puts this move in. Okay, no. Maybe black decides to push here, so you take first. But they still have to be careful that you don't just sack on f6. And then you're hitting the rook, and you're trying to bring your knight across maybe to threaten some kind of mate or something here. Oh, very interesting. Far from a draw. I really thought this was more of a draw than it is. Hey, Death Metal. Wait, is it Christmas Eve your side? What are you, UTC plus what? Because I'm in Japan, right? So I'm way ahead. I'm always living in the future compared to the rest of our community. Except maybe for whoever's in Australia, although I think there's only a few of us that side as well. But Christmas Eve isn't happening on your side yet, I would think. Aren't you still a few hours away from it? Although, if your Christmas cheer is going strong, I think that's great. So well done for that. Nothing wrong with a bit of Christmas cheer, right? Are you Australia? Oh, okay, perfect. Okay, actually, so you are... okay, hello. You are completely in on the Christmas cheer right now. Okay. I did not expect them to take the D pawn with their knight. Why did I not expect this? Oh, I didn't expect this because I feel like there's some kind of tactic here between this knight and this bishop hanging. So if I take here, you have to take the bishop to... what? You take... You what? You take back with your queen. Okay, I guess maybe not. If you take here, and I take... Okay, I guess I'm protecting with the queen. Okay, okay, okay. I looked a little bit too quick, but I thought there was a bit of a tactic going on here. I think I'm just gonna go blow my own horn quickly in the general tab. Hey, all streaming a game on you. Oh, okay, no, no, no. Hard to say. What should I say? Apologies. This is... Okay. Thank you. Alright. Don't look at my Slack too long. We are trying out YouTube live watch party for a great game currently happening on board 2. There we go. So I had company, but now it's just me. So come keep me company, please. Nice, there we go. It doesn't have any great thumbnail anymore, unfortunately. Alright, here we go. Back in the game. Alright. Oh, interesting. Okay, I don't know. I'm starting to feel like someone's falling some problems here. If I take your knight, I'm also hitting your g-pawn. So, let's say you take back. Doesn't really matter which way you want to take. I don't know, let's just take with this pawn to keep it. Okay, so take with the b pawn to keep it together. And while you're hitting my bishop, I take here hitting your rook, which would come with check. Are you coming in here then to try and trap my queen, I guess? Do I have any other recourse in that situation? I do not. Yo, these board 2 guys are thinking deeply, hey. Hey Ranger, I'm streaming on YouTube. Come join the watch party. By the way guys, I'm actually hoping someone would kind of like come join me for real in the stream itself. I'm actually just gonna copy the link out of here. I can't copy a nice link. Let's just go YouTube / I don't know what the link is, never mind. If you can't find it, too bad for you. Both my 45 and Lone Wolf responders haven't responded. That's unlucky, man. I appreciate the love your work situation. I'm not the only one streaming. Jordan, who's over in America, is putting a lot of effort. Actually, both of us got interested in it almost the same time. I played a tournament in Kyoto, and my last round opponent, of which I'm still posting I think I'm posting that video tomorrow actually, was a French IM who's got a very, very strong kind of social media, YouTube channel, streaming situation going. So talking with him about what he does was very interesting. I really enjoyed it. So he got me kind of excited, and I thought, you know, I used to do YouTube when I first came to Japan. Maybe I'll do it again. And then literally 2 days later on Slack, Jordan was saying in general, hey, I want to start doing commentaries if anyone else is interested and wants to join me. So yeah, just great timing. And so we renamed... What was the channel called? I don't even know anymore. Maybe it was TV, League TV. We renamed it to 45 Streaming. And here we are, slowly figuring things out. So he's kind of got his Twitch set up. I prefer YouTube because I'm trying to build a channel a little bit. So we've got that set up. We've both connected to Leechess as well, which is really fun because we get to invite a few people who are not actually part of the main community into the streams as well, which is real good. Alright, enough blabbing along. Are you talking about people who don't respond at all? Yeah, what to say, hey? Actually, maybe they just didn't remember that their availability was set up to be available. Maybe they thought they weren't going to play. I know a lot of people also set themselves up not to be available already because of the end of the season. So, well, end of the season, end of the year, sorry. So I'm not so sure what the general thinking was. Yo, sorry, I'm just calculating a bunch of random lines. So I take here, maybe I take here, and then you decide to castle to defend it. So I bring in, that doesn't work because oh no, it does work a little bit actually, because if you take, I take with my queen, Then I'm hitting your rook here. But then I've given up a piece. Oh, so then actually, then it's 2 rooks and a knight versus a queen and a rook. And also you've lost one of these pawns. So you've got 1 pawn there. How does that look? So equal pawns, identical. Both will have a C pawn. And you've got... Oh wait, sorry, you have this as well. Okay, now I'm counting badly. You've got two minors and a rook for my queen. That's terrible. Let's not do that. SnowDeath, I'm glad you're online again. I saw you going offline quickly. But let's not play the line I just looked at. It's clearly absolute trash. Yeah. Alright, have fun, man. Good night, and I hope your opponents respond. We've got a little bit of holiday, which is fantastic, so please do give your opponents a bit of that Christmas, what do you call it? Not to say mercy, leeway. Give them a little bit of leeway, so if they're late to respond, maybe you guys can still play your games. As with all the side leagues, the biggest point that we're trying to do is we're just trying to make sure that games happen. So if you are able to schedule, even if your opponents are late, we always encourage you to do that. In Lone Wolf, in 45-45, in anything else. It's always nice to win, but the main point is obviously to play. So we try to play. Okay, I'm gonna go back a few moves. I don't know if anyone else is new has joined recently, but this, again, I really thought this was a draw. I'm so surprised that it's not. Maybe it is a draw if white plays differently. Black went kind of off script by taking on d4, which is not kind of the main move. The main move here is just to jump one of your knights around. I think knight d5 is actually the main one. And then here, black obviously realizes that the queen is completely stuck. With queen c1, white takes away the only square that the queen was able to move around in front of the rook. So they're preparing to sack the queen for a rook and a knight. And now black has just tried to develop and organize their pieces. They picked up the a3 pawn, so they've got the open file as well. They've connected their dark square bishop to the rook as well, so it's a little bit safe. White picked up that doubled d pawn from black. And then, oh, okay, here we go. Yeah, okay, so after bishop e7, we got a bishop g3, just getting out of range of this knight. So, I mean, the thing I was looking at here, which seemed like it might work, was, well, at first, I thought you could take, and after white takes back, pick a pawn. Then you take here, because you're hitting their rook, so they have to move the rook before they can do anything else. But black has a great move. Bishop f7, getting onto the diagonal behind your queen, protecting the rook via x-ray, and being protected by the knight. So then you're actually hanging your bishop and your queen. You have to move your queen to protect it somewhere. Nothing is hanging that you can take. You can't come back on this diagonal to attack the rook. So you run away and you lose your light square bishop. And that is why they get paid the big bucks on board 2, and I do not get paid the big bucks, because I am board 4, I believe. Somewhere around there. Somewhere in that area. Milan, what's up? Black's other rook would hang. Which one do you mean? The a3 one? Milan, I feel like you're lying to me. So I'm actually going to go here quick before. So if I take and you take back, pick a pawn, and I take here and you put your bishop on f7, it's protected by the knight, right? It defends the rook in the corner, it hits the queen, and also the queen can't drop back on this diagonal to hit the other rook, and my light square bishop is hanging. So I'm not sure what you were looking at, but I'm pretty sure what I saw was bad for white. And I'm pretty sure they saw it as well, which is why they just played bishop g3 instead. Black castles. By the way, Milan, do you think you could win this position? for either side? Like, do you think there's someone who's clearly better? Because I actually thought, I don't, you probably know this line, right? Where queen xb2 is a draw because the queen gets stuck in the corner after a3, where it just has to move in front of the rook the whole time. But the way that white played this against black now kind of forced the trade eventually. Because with queen c1, they take away the square that the black queen would run away from, or run away to every time. So I don't know how we got here because I don't. I know that almost certainly this is a drawn situation because black doesn't want to lose their queen for just a rook. But somehow we've got a situation where they just gave it up because they had no choice. So can you tell me where the line deviated from what I thought was the drawn line because people dropped their rook around? Yeah, I thought you were saying. Oh no, not first. Yeah, there's a forced line here, right? But I don't know where it is. I cheated with the opening book a little bit just to have a look around, but I can't find where exactly the line is. Okay, here we go. So back to it. Black castles and white puts in e4. Milan, by the way, if you have a microphone and you feel like joining for a little bit, it is super easy to get you involved in the stream, by the way. You just basically have to say, and I send you a link. So a3 isn't a move? Oh, because the knight already protects that square from here, right? So you don't have to move the... Actually, guys, I'm gonna go back. So here you just go across immediately. Oh, maybe this was it. No, but this hangs. Okay, wait, no, a3 has to be a move because you have to protect the pawn to keep the queen from being able to do what? Here. Wow, guys, I don't know. Milan, I don't know. Help me. Anyway, back to the game then. e4. I guess actually white was planning this, right? Moving the bishop back so it's out of range, so when they kick the knight, black can't trade it off. And obviously it's not hanging by accident or something. Trying to get rid of the aggressive knight in the middle. Obviously, you've got a nice move right here. I mean, I'm looking if you just go straight out, but unfortunately that knight can get traded off. This knight can also jump back. Well, you've got a few options, I guess. With this is not a move because you disconnect your rook. Here's a move. You hit the light square bishop. That might be something you're interested in doing. What you could also do is you could take here first, and after the queen takes back, you can kick the queen with your bishop. And then after that, you can kind of figure out what you want to do with the rest. I wonder. Yeah, I'm glad I'm not the only one. A2 and B2. A2 and B2. Oh, because every time your rook comes onto the file, they can't run backwards. Yeah, I don't know, because they had the light square diagonal there to run away with, but maybe they didn't. Okay, we will look at that line after the game if I'm still here though. Ah, cool man, thanks for coming past, I appreciate it. Leave the stream running in the background. Share it with your colleagues. Who wants to work? It's Christmas Eve, man. Come on. Gotta relax a little bit. Oh, you say you'll keep it open for the viewership. Thanks a lot, man. I appreciate it. Always good to get an extra number. Alright, hang on. There was some development. Okay, black decided they're coming way in. Okay, I'm not sure. Trading, connecting. Ah, okay, because obviously they are protecting this move. Because I saw here and then they can trade off for the bishop, which would probably be a little bit nice for black. Okay. Well then. Coming back to protect all the pawns. So black's doing pretty good, I would say, honestly. They've got their active rook out here still being protected by a bishop, which is really good because it also keeps the diagonal completely crushed, so there's really very little this dark square bishop can do right now. They've connected their pawns, so no more isolated pawns. They've got a very active but kind of wayward knight, I would say. Where would you run that knight to? If you want to run it here, it can stick around, I guess. You can put it, I don't know. And obviously this is now protecting the pawn that was looking a little bit loose. Ranger, did you make it here? You said, oh sweet, but I don't know if you're around. Hey Martin. Thanks for coming by. Glad you have you with us. Um, I don't know if tonight's the night for you, but oh well, it's daytime that side. But this is the first time I tried to do a little joint streaming. So earlier, actually, one of the other guys who's doing some streaming for the league came to join, and it turns out it's super easy. So if someone is keen to join for a little bit, I basically just send you a link and we try and get you in here. But Martin, I'm gonna ask you first, what are you doing with your day? Because it is Christmas Eve, right? So I don't know. I'm really missing the summer Christmas down that side. Although, was it yesterday who told me that they can't imagine having Christmas be summer? But anyway, definitely I miss that a lot from South Africa. Very, very much. Alright, and Lone Ranger, are you here? Day one of being on call. Oh, you're on call. That's what's happening. Oh, Johnny, are you Lone Ranger? Great stuff, man. Glad to know you're around. Appreciate it. And also, I don't know if anyone else knows or cares, but Lone Ranger is, according to what I've seen, the person with the most movie knowledge out of anyone I've ever met. He's apparently watched everything. He always knows every movie's name, all the characters, half the actors as well. Also, kind of like when the movies came out. I feel like I've watched a lot of movies, but I can't. Not that level of memory. Absolutely amazing stuff. Uh, Martin, that sounds terrible, man. I'm sorry to hear that there was a break-in. KWT though, where's that? Gary, do you think Gary has you beat on film knowledge? I don't see it. All right. Oh, okay, interesting. So what? Black's not scared to lose a Black's not scared to lose a knight and a pawn over here. Am I missing something? I mean, obvious move for white after knight b5 is just to take the knight with the bishop. No in-between move I can see. Pawn takes back, and then queen takes. And then we're down to what? Two bishops and two rooks versus a rook, a bishop, and a queen. So it is still a queen for a piece and a minor and a rook. Which is better though? Hard to tell. Okay, hang on. I'll answer a bit later on that one. Let's get back to the game first. Honestly though, isn't this kind of the dream for white? I guess not. Well, I feel like this is just the move. Am I missing anything in between? Am I missing anything in between? If white takes, black has nothing I can see that's kind of like an in-between move that matters. Because, you know, you can't... So this move also prepares to be able to move the Darkscrew bishop, right? Because the rook is defended by the knight. But if I just snap it off... You're still... What is this? You're not up a pawn anymore, but you're still up a rook and a minor for a queen. But your light square bishop is also just in the middle of nowhere. Oh, it took me forever to see it. Guys, these board 2 players. So check it out. You take with your bishop, they take back, you take, and then they skewer you for the exchange on the diagonal with bishop a6. Black, you sneaky, sneaky bugger. I did not see that at all. What happens if I take your pawn here, threatening your dark square bishop, though? You take, I take, and you come back, and it's a queen and a queen and a dark square bishop versus... Actually, given how this game has gone, in that case, I would take black. Because the power of the queen is that it can go many places, but if this was all that was left on the board for black, there isn't like too much for white to be attacking. You know, they have to try and pile up on the F, or on the G pawn somehow. They've got this isolated passer that, well, yeah, they've got that isolated passer in that case. Would it stay alive though? Yo, 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 yo. Anyway, that didn't happen. White decided, hey, I want to trade some more rooks. Rook A1. They can't trade twice because the rook is triple defended, or double defended. But they can trade off... They can trade off a rook if they want. And if black decides they don't want to trade, they want to move their rook somewhere instead, so maybe they move it here. Then, unfortunately, it's hanging, because if you take the knight, the rook is not defended anymore. Yo, what a learning experience watching one of these games. It's just strong enough for me to be a little bit confused, but then at the same time, you can get there, you know, you just have to sit down and think a bit longer. Oh, sorry guys, you guys are saying things, I should just double check here. King Williamstown. Yeah, I've heard of it. I don't know if I've actually been to it, or just... Is it close to the N2 maybe? If it's not, then I probably haven't been there. You're not screaming into the void? Yeah, I'm actually replying. I'm not streaming today. This is not my game. No hands. Not that that actually matters, right? But yeah, no hands. This is not my game. My game isn't scheduled for this round of the tournament again. This is round 5. But I have nothing special that I need to do tonight, and I was kind of relaxing a little bit at home, so I thought I would just pick out and see if I can stream a bit. And then it happened that this turned out to be a really amazing game. I thought this would be like a draw in 10 minutes and we'd be done, but it's been really good, so I've stuck around. And yeah. Lone Wolf, as you said, after Lone Ranger, after the queen takes the skewer. Okay. I had to check the line. Okay, Milan, hang on 1 second. I'm just gonna check what happened with the game there. So black decided they can't get out of the trade, so they did, and they developed their light square bishop to b7, which is pretty amazing actually, because the queen's got no way to infiltrate right now. And if you take and they take back, they're also hitting your e pawn, and you're not picking that pawn up immediately, so they can actually come back and defend it. Oh, I am so impressed with black's play, and with white for getting that trick in, but honestly, just the fact that the black has just converted this seemingly bad situation into what feels like an advantage. Right, Milan, let me check this line quick. d4, knight f6, bishop f4, c5, e3, bishop, queen, x2, knight b5, yeah, knight e5, yeah, rook b1, queen. Oh, so you do take a2, a1, b2, yeah, okay, hundreds, I see it. Okay, hang on. Ah, I see. Yeah, knight c3 or a6, or they're worse. Very interesting, hey. Yeah, but interesting that that's how it goes. Small Meeks. Meeks, is that you? I don't know what your YouTube handle would be if that is you. If it is, awesome to see you, man. You should come join me sometime. This is really easy to join. I literally just send you a link. And then if you have a camera, we put your face on. If not, I can put a little icon in your place. Just your profile picture or something, right? That's very easy. As it goes, what did you think? Something won. Doesn't what? Bishop d6. Bishop d6. What, to force the trade? Did I miss it in a different position? Unsure. Okay, well, Meeks, awesome to see you. Now I can tell you, the the thumbnail I was talking about, the image is in the folder. It's a picture that we took where only half my face is visible. So the picture that I cropped out is literally just like half a face. And that's where I got the idea of like adding the other half as black and stuff. This is what I was trying to explain on Slack. Yeah, man. Okay, you go enjoy your shower. Well done for going to the gym. I was supposed to go to the gym today, but I was just kind of not really feeling it. It's cold. It's, you know, Christmas Eve, so I decided just to stick around the house. Maybe I'll go tomorrow. Maybe I'll just call it a holiday, you know. I've been going consistently for how many months now? Maybe I deserve to just stop gymming for a bit. Alright, let me just get back to the game quick. White's actually losing a bit of time. Ooh, and they decide to lash out. So they don't want to take the knight, but they're happy to just force it to move. Obviously, that also opens up the light square bishop. If they jump to defend it, you can attack it, and if they for some reason don't defend it properly, you can take the knight first and then take the bishop, obviously. Something else that's something important to note is obviously white has something like this, or black has something like this, just hitting the queen. Oh, wow, this is interesting. So for instance, rook a8, hitting the queen, getting onto the open file, and obviously you can see there's a back rank mate situation, well, threat of mate, not actual mate, but some kind of threat over here, right? And after you move the queen somewhere, if it still defends this check, because it's on the diagonal, for instance, you can put your bishop on f6, allowing your knight to come down here to a1, which could force a check, which could force the queen to move if it's on the back rank, for instance, because you don't want to get the queen stuck there. They'll have some ways that they can try and get out of it, but I don't know. This looks like a great move for black. Yeah, and again, not an easy position to attack, right? So white doesn't currently have anything on this diagonal that can attack it, like this light square bishop. Black's currently got their light square bishop over there. So it's not that easy for the rook to get kicked off this square if it does decide to get a tempi there. Oh, okay, cool. I hope that you understood my explanation about the picture. And for anyone who doesn't know, as I explained, so we're trying to kind of get a little bit of action around the league going. I'm trying to build up the channel a little bit, so please follow and subscribe and comment and tell your mom and give me a Christmas present and everything amazing. And if you've seen any of the videos recently from the Kyoto Kion Open where I was playing, the reason that the thumbnails took a sudden significant shift upwards in quality is because Meeks said that he'd be happy to help, and he's actually pretty good at graphic design. So we were just discussing, because I have one more game which I'm really excited to share. My final game in that tournament was against a French IM who is very well known if you speak French and you watch chess videos online, because he's got a really big YouTube channel as well. So I had a great time chatting to him, and he's actually the reason that I decided to try and get on here with the YouTubes and with the league again. Oh, Mr. Scribbles! Mr. Scribs. Mr. Scribs, come say hi on YouTube. If you are here, say hi in the chat so I know you're here, obviously. I think bishop f6 is with e5. This one, yeah, fair enough. It doesn't quite work. I mean, it doesn't quite work anyway because white's got a few ways that they can defend their king, including just a classic fine gold, always play bishop f1, right? Which would just kind of block up the file, and you could try and attack it, but yeah, I'm not so sure. You've got the queen who might be able to help as well. Well, yeah, I guess if you could get your light square bishop over on this diagonal and it's open, and your rook's over here, maybe white's a little bit pressed because their queen can't defend the light square bishop because all the directions that you would defend it from are being attacked as well. So that could be a bit dangerous, but we're looking kind of into speculation here because none of those moves are currently on the board, and it would take quite a while for us to get there. So I'm guessing that's probably not going to happen. Alright, I also realized that maybe we've got 1 or 2 extra people here I didn't already say this to, but hello and welcome. If you don't know, this is the Lead Chess 45 League. I will actually very quickly, Lead Chess 45, just put the Um, just put this in the channel. Oh my goodness, and literally as I go find it, Black resigns. Whoa! I mean, this is like big brain plays because I didn't see. GD, what a game. I thought we would see the draw, but it didn't happen. Okay, hang on. I'm gonna go to the analysis. I wonder if we could get... I would love to get one of the players to come chat to us a bit. Great game. If either of you are around, a quick chat. We were streaming your game. You could come onto the stream to discuss a bit if you are interested. Man, I would be amazed to see this because, well, apparently White was winning. Plus 3.4. I did not see that. Definitely this is not a position I'm familiar with in any degree whatsoever. Oh man. Is there any chance that one of them would want to come past? VanRoy is still here. Ah, VanRoy? Huh? Huh? No? Maybe? What do you say? Okay, I'm actually going to quickly just pop over here and just double check what's happening, if there's anything else. Although I think if there is another game I might want to move because I've used up... There are no other games, at least for another hour and a half. Okay, so maybe we just have a quick look at what I missed here, if there's anything interesting coming. Oh yeah, yeah. Funny Jim isn't here today, but he should be around. Okay, let's go back to the game. Alright, it doesn't look like anyone's going to come past to tell us about the game, so we're just going to have to look at it a little bit by ourselves. So, let's have a quick look here and see what we missed. I'm amazed that Black resigned though. That did not look... Playing into that position, I thought Black was doing pretty great, to be honest. Alright, so let's first just double check the move that... The line that Milan suggested, because this is the main line, is here, here, and then you attack that, rook b1, queen a2, rook a1, queen b2, rook b1, queen a2, and this is the draw, right? This is the line. Obviously, in all of these positions, Black could take and then take, and this is basically what we got in the game, except it also included, I don't know, add another move here and here. This is basically transposing to the position of the game, right? A little bit of a different situation that we had. Anyway, that didn't happen. Yeah, so they had to force that draw with knight d5. So I guess this means that this was a bit of an opening win for White then, with Black kind of going wrong straight out of the opening. Well, you know when you're like supposed to give away a pawn to be better, things aren't that great. Alright, so that is basically what happened. Yes, I also thought... Oh, actually, hang on. So... Oh, you have to take the knight first so that they can't jump it out. Ooh. Okay, there's a few other positions. For instance, I know there's a line against the elephant as Black as well, where you take the knight before it jumps off its diagonal because that stops something else from happening. Oh, very interesting. Okay, so actually we were kind of back to being semi-equal again here, right? I count anything less than +1 or -1 as a clear advantage, so as not a clear advantage. So, oh no, actually a4 was a move. We were discussing this and we thought absolutely not. Yeah, e6 seemed like the best move. I also think that casting was the best move. I thought this is maybe not so good because you could go sit over here and just pin it, but I guess there's not any specific big action that you've got there actually. Okay, anyway, they took with their rook, and that turns out to be the wrong move again. Oh, and I thought this is not worth it. Attacking here or going here. I thought this was not worth it for White, but apparently that is one of the continuations. Alright, getting back because they were pushing. Yeah. Okay, yeah. There's gonna be one more moment where things get a little bit better. Yeah. Oh man. I saw this, but I didn't know what you would do after that because you can't You know, like this position is protected. If the rook is attacked, you can't go here. So let's just go. What if I just do this? Okay, just nothing. Alright, the point is that you can't go anywhere either, I guess. So everyone's just sitting in their corners. Alright, cool. So back. Yeah, that seemed like a trade that had to be taken. Um, I can see how this is the move. You don't want a backwards pawn, to be honest, but you kind of want to force this to get cleaned up a little bit. You don't want the backwards pawn anywhere. Overall, you need your light square bishop to have some activity. Yeah, I thought this was a move. Yeah, and then I said this, but then clearly you have this as well, which is very unfortunate. If you didn't have that though, then you'd have to move, and for instance, if you had this, you'd have to go back. So this is kind of what I was seeing, which apparently is a draw. Oh, okay, interesting, because yeah, then they bring out the bishop onto the diagonal. However, that did not happen, and after, I'm sorry, just right here, after this, Black just called it. I'm amazed. Do you feel like this is completely losing? Or like winning for white? Because I did not see that. It's still the same imbalance, the queen for a rook and a minor piece, which seems obviously that it should be better, but I just didn't see white converting it in a way that seemed the best. Although I think being able to trade a rook was kind of one of the big points. So maybe that's where black realized that they were in trouble, not having two rooks that they can double up anymore. I would guess so. Alright, so that was a very, very fun game. Absolutely amazing coming on for that for a little bit. I did not expect this to happen. Thank you for everyone who tuned in. It was really, really fun. I hope that we can have a few more people joining next time. I'm super happy that the connection held up because last time it was really, really bad when I was streaming my own game. But yeah, I think we're going to call it then. Please come by again. Subscribe, like, tell your mom, send us Christmas presents. Absolutely Merry Christmas to everyone as well. Even if you don't celebrate Christmas, just have a great year end. Whether or not you are whichever feeling about these things, I really hope that you can make a good time of it. I personally love spending the time with my family. So this year we are in Japan. Unfortunately, I will not see my home family, but I will see my family this side, where I'll be nice as well. Alright, and that is enough blabbing from me. Let's call it then. Have a great day, have a great week, have a great Christmas, have a great year end, and see you guys next time. Ciao. And thanks Martin. I'm glad to hear that it's still good now as well. See you. Bye bye.